Alycia Parks versus Alexandra Eala. Australian Open swing match fuels buzz around Eala's rise and Parks' power game. Alexandra Eala's Australian Open main draw debut delivered the kind of match that can reshape expectations in a single night. A blistering opening set, a roaring pro-Eala crowd, and momentum flip that ultimately sent Alycia Parks into the next round. The headline result was Parks advancing in 3 sets after dropping the first set 6-0, while Eala exited singles with a performance that still reinforced why her name keeps trending far beyond tennis circles. Beyond the scoreline, the matchup became a snapshot of modern women's tennis, where a huge serve can reverse a match quickly, and where a young player's visibility can outgrow the confines of the side court. Alexandra Eala's Australian Open debut, a 6-0 statement, then a tough turn. Eala came out with fearless timing and clean returns, racing through the first set 6-0 and feeding off a packed, highly energized atmosphere. The early pattern was clear. Eala was taking time away, getting first strikes on return, and forcing Parks to play from awkward positions. Then the match pivoted. Parks began landing a higher percentage of first serves, shortened points, and protected her service games with a power-first mix of pace and placement. As the rallies shifted from neutral exchanges to serve-and-one patterns, the pressure moved on to Eala's own service games, where small dips in first serve consistency can quickly snowball against a player with Parks' weapons. Parks took the next 2 sets 6-3, 6-2 to complete the comeback in advance, while Eala was left with a bittersweet debut. Proof she can dominate stretches at Grand Slam level, and a reminder that closing against elite power requires a steadier Plan B when the opponent finds rhythm. Alycia Parks tennis, the big serve blueprint that travels. For Parks, the comeback was a textbook example of how a power profile wins ugly when it needs to. When her timing clicked, she made the court feel smaller, earning quick points, saving energy, and forcing Eala to defend under constant scoreboard pressure. That matters at majors. Early rounds often come down to who can hold serve under noise, nerves, and shifting conditions. Parks showed she could reset after a lopsided set and execute a calmer second and third, even in an environment tilted heavily toward her opponent. Next up, Parks is scheduled to face Karolina Muchova on Wednesday, January 21st Melbourne time, in the round of 64. It's a contrasting style test. Parks' raw pace and direct patterns versus Muchova's variety, touch, and ability to disrupt rhythm. Eala tennis, what the match revealed about her next level. Eala's first set burst wasn't a fluke. It highlighted 2 traits that translate anywhere: early ball striking and return quality. But the match also underlined the next upgrade that separates dangerous from consistent at the top end: serve resilience under pressure, finding more reliable first serve patterns when momentum swings, point shortening options, earning a few more free points to stop runs, especially against big servers, mid-match adjustments, shifting return position, mixing height/spin, and changing tempo before the opponent fully settles. None of this is unusual for a rising player. In fact, it's often the exact learning curve that turns a debut into a springboard. What's next for Alex Eala after the Australian Open? While her singles run ended in the first round, Eala's schedule remains active. In the near term, she can continue to build match reps and confidence through doubles and the next stretch of the tour calendar. A key next milestone is the Philippine Women's Open, where Eala has a wild card entry for an event beginning January 26th and running through January 31st. The tournament is set to be her first WTA 125 appearance on home soil, and it adds extra meaning. Home events can accelerate a player's growth by combining comfort, attention, and stakes. Timeline to watch: January 19th, 2026. Eala versus Parks at the Australian Open. Eala wins first set 6-0. Parks wins 6-3, 6-2. January 21st, 2026. Parks scheduled versus Muchova in the round of 64. January 26th to 31st, 2026. Philippine Women's Open window for Eala's next potential stop. Why this Parks Eala match will keep following both players. For Parks, the story is momentum. A comeback win under a hostile atmosphere, then a high-profile matchup that can validate her ceiling. For Eala, the story is trajectory. She showed she can overwhelm opponents on a Grand Slam stage, and now the focus shifts to sustaining that level when the opponent's strengths start dictating play. If you're tracking either player, the simplest takeaway is this. Parks proved her serve can rescue her on the biggest stages, and Eala proves she belongs. Now the next step is turning flashes into full match control.